It's a different one. All right, so if you can just take these different readings from all the different religions, just kind of into your heart and open yourself up to some of this. It's pretty amazing. We light the first candle to honor Islam. She is the holiest and most secret inwardness of Allah. We light the second candle in honor of Buddhism. Listen to the deeds of Kinyin, responding compassionately on every side, with great vows deep as the ocean, through inconceivable periods of time, serving innumerable Buddhas, giving great clear and pure vows, to hear her name, to see her body, to hold her in the heart is not in vain, for she can extinguish suffering. We light the third candle in honor of Christianity. She is so bright and glorious that you cannot look at her face or her garments for the splendor with which she shines, but she is with everyone and in everyone, and so beautiful is her secret that no person can know the sweetness with which she sustains people and spares them inscrutable mercy. We light the fourth candle to honor heretics. When the sacred masculine is combined with the sacred feminine, inside each of us we create the secret marriage of compassion and passion in ourselves. We light the fifth candle to honor earth-based religions. The mystery of the divine feminine speaks to us from within her creation. She is not a distant God in heaven, but a presence that is here with us, needing our response. We light the sixth candle to honor Hinduism. I am Shakti as well as Shiva. I am everything male and female, light and dark, flesh and spirit, perfectly balanced in one single moment lasting in eternity. We light the final candle to honor Judaism. She is so pervades this lower world that if you search indeed, thought and speculation, you will find Shekhinah, for there is no beginning and no end to her. March theme, honoring the divine feminine in all, our living legacy. This is by Ernest Holmes. Spirit is the Father, Mother, God, because it is the principle of unity back of all things. The masculine and the feminine principles both come from the one. Spirit is all life, truth, love, being, cause and effect. It is the only power in the universe that knows itself. The spirit can know nothing outside itself. That would be God and something else. Spirit is all, the center and circumference of everything that exists, both manifest and unmanifest. So if you can just take these words into that inner sanctuary for a few moments of contemplation with me. So I'm knowing that right where we are, this infinite energy, this power, this presence of spirit that moves through us, as us, and around us is the very breath that we are breathing. It is interwoven down to the tapestry of our own soul. It is that power and presence that moves through us at all times, beating our heart, breathing us, moving through us, as us, and around us, every moment of every day. This male and female energy that is moving through us, with us right in this moment is that divinity at the bottom of our soul. And so I know that this same energy, the same power, this same presence is moving through this congregation, through Reverend Stephanie, through this band, through the children that usually are here, but anyway, knowing that there is this love and beauty and light, and that we are blessed. We are ordained in this moment. We are here by divine appointment. And I give such thanks for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me try this again. So our theme this month is honoring the divine feminine in all, as Lana just said. And I've actually been really struggling with this. This is the home office sends us a yearly theme and then a theme for each month, and then groups of ministers get together and they put together an outline to offer for each week. Now sometimes I use a lot of that outline, sometimes I use a sentence or two, and sometimes all I do is use the title. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know. So the outlines that are being offered for this month, they're full of descriptions of the divine feminine that use words like nurture and intuition, empathy, receptive, creative, sensual, and passive. Now, when I hear descriptions like that, I just want to throat punch somebody. I don't consider myself especially nurturing. I just don't. My mother still laughs that I've been in charge of our children's program for almost 4 years. She once said to me, Steffi, how are you the youth pastor? You didn't like kids when you were one. I am certainly not passive. My intuition, I don't think is all that great. And I don't always consider being empathic a gift. And then I read this quote from our founder, Ernest Holmes. I read this from Ernest Holmes, and it's in his seminal work, The Science of Mind. He wrote, "It has been called the universal feminine, or the holy womb of nature, because it is receptive and creative." It has been called the universal feminine, or the holy womb of nature, because it is receptive and creative. What the? Never mind that not all women have wombs, okay? And some men do. I was just ready to pitch the whole thing. I was just like, I don't even... I thought, I'll just do something else entirely. But this is the whole month, right? It's the whole month. And it really bugged me. I thought, okay, I'm just going to sit with this. I'm just going to sit with this. And I'm going to chew on it. And of course, then it chewed on me. And I still kind of hate it. It still feels like a lot of stereotypes and tropes. But I also realized that my first error, and I think this is a common one, and that is feminine and masculine is not the same as women and men. Feminine and masculine can be descriptors of both women and men. But it's not the divine. It's not God, or whatever word you want to use. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of our human limitation. These words are a symptom of the limitations placed on us by culture and society. And no, not every culture and society places those limitations. Most of the indigenous cultures do not. But in the one that I'm going to say pretty much all of us here in this room have been raised in, that is a limitation placed on us. Now today's talk is called Our Living Legacy. So a little bit of sort of history and administration here. Our tradition is called New Thought, okay? Like Christianity is a tradition, right? That's the umbrella. So what are the denominations under Christianity? So Presbyterian and Lutheran and Methodist and Catholic and Pentecostal. So our umbrella is New Thought, is what it's called. And so the denominations are three essentially modern denominations underneath the umbrella of New Thought. Okay, that's Unity, the Church of Divine Science, and us, Centers for Spiritual Living. Each denomination teaches something similar. Okay, we share principles like a belief in oneness and wholeness. But we each have our own philosophy that it teaches us about how we can go about putting our teachings into use in our lives. Christianity, we would probably call it theology. We call it philosophy. Okay, at Centers for Spiritual Living, our philosophy is called the science of mind and spirit, oftentimes shortened to the science of mind, or SOM. So what's interesting about our tradition and all of the denominations within it is how we have forever and always defied culture and society when it comes to our treatment of women. Some of our denominations have been founded by women. We have always ordained women. We were one of the first traditions and denominations in North America to ordain women. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, his personal practitioner, the person he turned to for spiritual guidance and counseling, was a woman. We have had multiple spiritual leaders and field leaders that were women. Centers for Spiritual Living, our leadership is three-headed, if you will. We have a spiritual leader, we have a field leader, and we have an executive director. Many of the spiritual leaders and field leaders have been women. The first I found was in the mid-1950s, when Ernest Holmes was still alive. Our current field leader is a woman. Our current executive director, the business leader of our denomination, is a woman. When I took my ministerial panel, the three ministers in the room with me were all men. It was so odd. It was so uncommon that they asked me how I felt about it after my testing was completed. Other than the other two people that faced that same panel that same day, I've not met another minister that had an all-male panel. New Thought as a spiritual or religious tradition and Centers for Spiritual Living as a denomination specifically have always defied cultural and societal conventions around women. That legacy can offer us something incredibly important when we approach the divine. We can learn to defy convention, defy culture, defy society in the way we think about God. We can leave behind the binary. It doesn't have to be God or goddess. It doesn't have to be he or she. It doesn't have to be father or mother. It can be they. It can be all. It can be us. And most importantly of all, we can think of the divine as not only in our own image. Now, I realize we give things as large and potentially unknowable as spirit parameters that we can understand. We anthropomorphize it, right? We give it human qualities or a human image in our mind so that we can wrap our mind around it in some way. And gender, with masculine and feminine qualities, is part of that. But last week, Reverend Erin Marie invited us to reimagine the divine, and so this week I'm pushing us a little bit more to reimagine the divine. So I'd like to take us through a little bit of a visualization exercise right now. I won't call it a guided meditation. It's a little bit more active for you than that. But please do get comfortable in your chair. And close your eyes. Try not to snore. Feel your feet in your shoes on the floor. And feel the chair supporting you. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath in and feeling your chest and your belly kind of tighten and fill up. And then blow out as much tension as you can on the exhale. Just feel yourself melt into the chair a little with that exhale. Now do it again, please. Breathe in, tighten up, blow out and relax. Do it one more time. So now what I want you to experience in your mind is a cloud right in front of you. I don't know what it looks like or feels like. Maybe your cloud even has a scent or a sound. It's your cloud. Take some time to build it in your mind right now and experience it. So now, lay down on your cloud. Feel yourself fully supported by your cloud. It is luxurious to be on. You're safe. The temperature is perfect. The firmness of it is perfect. It is the best thing you have ever laid down on. And so now, up we go. Up. Floating into whatever sky you want. Maybe it's a blue summer sky. Maybe it's a starry night sky. Maybe it's a sky you feel like velvet. Or smell like rain. You can't necessarily see. And enjoy for a moment the wonder and the awe of being on your cloud in your sky. From your sky, right in front of you, emerges your image of God in whatever way you experience it. something you see, something you hear, an emotion you feel. It might surprise you. Don't judge it. Just observe it. It just is. Now let it fade away. And again, from your sky, right in front of you, emerges your image of God, of the goddess, in whatever way you might experience it. Something you see, something you hear, an emotion you feel. She might surprise you. Don't judge it. Just observe it. It just is. And now let that fade away. And so what emerges from your sky right now is a scene from your life. It's the most beautiful thing you have ever experienced. Maybe that's your wedding day or the birth of a child or any number of things. But it is the most beautiful thing that you have ever experienced. It might surprise you. Don't judge it. Just observe it. It just is. And now let it fade away. So now from your sky emerges another scene. This is the most painful thing you have ever experienced. You are safe here, right here with me, there on your cloud. It might surprise you. Don't judge it. It just is. Now let it go. Let it fade away. So now from your sky, right in front of you, emerges someone that you love unconditionally. See them, hear their voice, hear their laughter. Feel their hand in yours. Don't judge who it is. Just let it be. And now let them fade away. So now from your sky emerges someone that you hate. There's someone that has immediately popped into your head. It's okay. Don't judge it. It just is. You're safe on your cloud. You're safe here with me. Just observe it. Now let them go. Let them fade away. And finally, who emerges from your sky but you yourself. See yourself clearly, honestly. Your receding hairline, your expanding waistband. Don't judge, it just is. All of this and more is the divine. Spirit is the presence in all of this. Everything you have just experienced is someone's image of God. So now let your cloud float back down and ease yourself off of it. You can return to it whenever you need to challenge your image of spirit again, whenever you need to be reminded. So come back into the room with me. And feel the chair and your feet. And when you're ready, open your eyes. For this congregation, it's a time of innovation and experimentation. So as we begin to understand where we have been and we come together to build the bridge of our future as we walk on it, now's a perfect time for each of us to start to play with this idea of rejecting convention and comfort around our images of the divine. When spirit is no longer only in our own image, we can see it everywhere, including in the jerk across the street that voted for whoever you don't like. They might still be a jerk, but we all have to start where we are, right? Now you might be saying to yourself, but I do see the divine in everything. I don't think of the divine as only he or she. But I submit to you now that we all do, at some point or another, see the divine as this or that, as me but not them. Less of spirit here, more of spirit here. I think that's very human. And I am also quite certain that many of you are going to deny that to me after service. Consider today an invitation from me. An invitation to brutal self-honesty. An invitation to frightening introspection. An invitation to radical personal responsibility. Let's take on our human limitations head on when it comes to how we think about and visualize and interact with spirit, with the divine. There's nothing to be afraid of by doing that work. You have a community right here that will walk that path with you. You come from a tradition of defiance. We have within us a living legacy of profound courage. When we no longer see spirit as only in our own image or in what we are comfortable with, we can then begin to see it everywhere. And to see spirit everywhere is to become a place of healing. We are never separate from spirit. We only separate ourselves from one another. The courage of our living legacy can heal that rift, if we let it.